And we're live.
My name is Otto, and I like to get blato. Sorry.
I know that's
Y'all
true.
didn't understand that? That's a Simpsons reference, okay? Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are, whatever time it is for you right now. Just know that you are locked in until the point with
Skip.
and the king. You guys know what to do. Go down there, click subscribe, click like. You guys know what to do. Shout out to our man, Mike Kamina. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name, but you are our giveaway winner for the Raptors toque. You send me a DM, send us an email. You'll see it on our back page, and we will get back to you. And it's yours. It's yours. You own it. Okay?
The email address is skipandtheking@gmail.com, by the way.
They could check that, Skip. Just put the freaking link on.
Yeah.
And thank you guys also, all of you out there, for supporting us and enjoying our fantastic guests, especially our man right there, Papa Minnow, aka I call the Aquaman. You know, he's our recap guy. So let's recap, guys. Now, as of this recording, it has been 24 hours since free agency has started. And the Toronto Raptors, well, there's been multiple signings, but the Toronto Raptors have re-signed Chris Boucher and Thaddeus Young, respectively at 32 and a quarter for Boucher, 16 for Thad, right? But they also
35 and a quarter. 35 and a quarter.
35 and a quarter. Okay.
Yeah.
And they also did sign someone coming fresh off a championship ring, Mr. Otto Porter Jr. That's why I said, my name is Otto, I like to get blotto. Now, Papa, you were here. So let's look back and let's take this into hindsight. How do you feel in general about the Toronto Raptors re-signing the free agents that could have possibly left and now adding somebody else to the squad?
Yeah, overall,
and by the way, thank you for coming back on the show.
No problem, man. Thank you for having me. Always a happy pleasure to be on this show with you guys. Overall, I think it is a good sign that they got these guys back on their roster. I think when it comes to Chris Boucher, I've seen a couple people say it's a little bit high in terms of the price there, but I think he actually earned this contract from that second half of the season. Like, he definitely was a valuable piece of this team, and he definitely proved that he wants to be here, he wants to improve, he wants to get better, and he did a lot of the things that we needed him to do in that second half. So I think some of the money, it comes in that he's going to develop his game, get a little bit more growth going, and he fits the criteria of what this team needs. Is like someone who's very tall, yes, being able to play defense, hit the three a couple times in a game, and yeah, he fits that bill pretty well. I really like the signing of Thad Young as well too. Really good vet. He's a good presence for this team. He came in and was ready to do what he needed to do to help this team win as well too. So he's a really good signing. We got him for a pretty low amount as well, so that's not going to be a huge hit on the salary cap at all. And then I guess the biggest one, like you said, my name's Otto and I like to get blotto. This is a huge signing for the Raps in terms of just getting some more depth and a guy who's able to hit the three. So I really like the signing for Otto Porter, more so for the fact that I can now scream out automatic every single time this guy makes a three. Like, that's going to be my favorite line going into the season, just being able to yell that out. So it's a good news on that front. But yeah, this is a guy.
That's a Prince song. That's a Prince song. AUTO-matic.
Oh well,
Tell
there you go.
Tell me what you want me to do. Oh yes.
Double entendre. So we'll have a double entendre going there. And Prince is a huge Raps fan, so that's even better. Like, now that you just mentioned that, like, even better that he's a huge Raps fan as well too, or was a huge Raps fan. But yeah, Otto Porter, he's able to hit that three. You saw what he was able to do in the NBA Finals and help out the Golden State Warriors. So him going forward is going to be a good look for this team. Like I said earlier, he also fits the bill as well too. He's a 6'9" dude. He's got a 7-foot wingspan. So he's going to be able to play defense. He's going to be able to hit the three. He's going to fit in that mold of, we have a lot of tall guys who are going to be able to bother people, help out in the double team. And the biggest thing is the spacing. That 40% from three last season for him. And you know how much the Raptors struggled in terms of shooting. So this is going to be a huge plus for them. So if anyone happens to go down and injure or anything like that, Otto Porter's just going to be in there to fill it out. So it's a great outlook for them.
You said that with the 40% shooting from the outside, right? That really
that's his career mark. That's
spacing.
not even, last year he was a little below that, but that's his career mark. It's really good.
Yeah, that's absolutely, like, that's unheard of at some points. That's almost Steph level. Almost. Skip, how do you see Otto Porter fitting in with your Toronto Raptors? I see you wearing that t-shirt and I see all that stuff behind you. How do you feel that Otto Porter is going to fit in to this Raptors system?
I think it's a great fit. It's funny because we were leading up to this, we were sort of going through all the names, we were looking through all the names and parsing names and kept coming up with guys like Gary Harris. I was pimping with DeLon Wright. There's a few.
We
other
heard
names.
Miles Turner on the show.
No, not Miles Turner. I'm talking about free agents.
On the show, we've heard Miles Turner.
Yeah, I'm talking about free agents though. So let me see what did I say last night when they missed out on some guys. I was I can't find it now, but yeah, I wanted them to get Dante DiVincenzo. I was even talking Gary Payton Jr. and Otto Porter just completely slipped my mind. But he is the perfect fit for this team. First of all, he's 6'8". Totally fits in. A wing, yet another 6'9", Vision 6'9" guy. Second of all,
wingspan,
he was an elite defender on the best defense in basketball last year. And that's exactly what the Raptors need. They need to bring in more great defenders, build that defense up, and continue to play the style that they've been playing going forward. And Otto Porter slides perfectly into that role. And then on top of that, you get this guy who's a 40% shooter, like from three. So suddenly you got your 3-and-D wing who slots into that number 7, number 8 guy off the bench. Suddenly that makes your depth so much better. I've been saying all offseason the Raptors just need to get a guy who can come in, play 10 to 15 minutes a night, but who's good enough that if guys are hurt, if he's having a good night, if guys are having an off night, he can step in and play 25, 30 minutes. If Otto Porter is healthy, and that's going to be the key with this signing, is if Otto Porter is healthy, he can do all of those things. He can be that guy. He can plug all those gaps. And suddenly the bench, you were talking last year about bench mob, Yuta Watanabe, whatnot. Like Otto Porter Jr., he was part of the bench mob in Golden State on a championship team. He was there, I believe, their number 7 option last year. So if he's coming over here to be the number 8 option, the number 9 option, suddenly like that bench looks really, really exciting. So I'm thrilled about this move. We still don't know the terms yet. It's a 2-year deal. I'm assuming it's for most of the mid-level, like 8-9 million, something like that, but per year. But we'll find out for sure.
I think it's just a little bit over the vet minimum, so it's not too much there.
Well, that was the offer that was on the table from Golden State. I don't know what specifically the Raptors had to offer to entice him over here, but I think combining that with Thad Young and Boucher, suddenly there's a lot more depth on this team.
Maybe he heard that we got some good jerk chicken up here in Toronto and he wanted to come up here.
No, his wife's from Toronto. That's what he said.
His wife's from Toronto. Yeah.
That he signed here because his wife's from Toronto. The one thing
maybe
I'll say
Aisha Curry was like, yo, girl, you got to tell your husband to go up there, because she's from here too, right?
The one thing I'll say about him is that I think he really, really helps the Raptors spacing as, a 40% three-point shooter, but he's not necessarily going to be a high volume guy. Like I think last year he was attempting like 3.3 or 3.5 threes a game, something like in that range. So you're kind of looking
3.4.
Yeah, so I was right there. Your high volume shooters are still going to be Van Vliet, OG, and Gary Trent. But if you're giving those Boucher touches,
and Scotty.
Well, he's not a high volume 3-point shooter though. I'm talking about high volume, taking lots of threes.
You watch. Have you seen the videos of him in the gym?
He'll be taking a few more, but I'm talking about high volume. Like Trent and Van Vliet and OG, they're taking like 6, 7, 8 threes a game. Porter, if he can just take 3 or 4 threes a game, take those touches away from Chris Boucher, who can't actually make his threes, that would be great. Yeah, so I think overall,
good thing you're not writing the checks.
I'm excited about this. So yeah.
Okay, can I say something right here, guys?
Yeah, get in there.
Can I get in there? Okay, Otto Porter Jr. Okay, I really want him to hold up a sign saying, "Is Wilt my father?" I just want to get that out there.
I don't even know, where did this come from? I don't even get the reference.
He looks like
It's an
Wilt
internet
Chamberlain.
meme. Yeah, he kind of looks like Wilt a little.
Yeah.
He looks just like Wilt, and look how many women Wilt has slept with. But that's neither here nor there. We're not getting into that. Shout out to my man Prob. Shout out to my dude Rob. You know, you guys really did educate me a lot today as I was going crazy over this, and because I was excited to see the Raptors stand pat by re-signing Chris Boucher and re-signing Thaddeus Young, you know, keeping their core, because the Raptors, I don't know if you guys don't understand this from a basketball point of view, but the Raptors are on something right now. I guess if you want to quote somebody from Toronto, I'm on one, right? They're on something right now. They're changing the way the game is played. It's absolutely revolutionary. Skip, I don't need to see that. Put that shit down. Okay? Skip, stop.
That is his son. That is definitely his son.
Skip, stop it. You're revolutionary, like the Golden State Warriors, for cutting me off. But the Raptors, what they have right now is something that they can build on. And I see them going forward, especially now. What surprised me was seeing Otto Porter Jr. coming in, because I was educated today by a couple people. I actually had to learn something. I felt like I was in school. It's been 20-something years since I've been in school. But, you know, Otto Porter is in the 90th percentile when it comes to defenders. He's 2.1 on offensive win shares, 2.7 on defensive win shares. You know, he's in the top 70 when it comes to offense, right? He adds that element to the Toronto Raptors. So now what I wanted to ask you guys, there we go. What I want to ask you guys is...
Well, hang on. I'm going to jump in. Ask your question. I just want to mention something. What? Remember, this guy was the number 3 option on the team that swept the Raptors in the playoffs in 2014. 2015-16. But, or no, 2014-15. Yeah.
Yeah. So. Okay. So now, where does he fit in with this Toronto Raptors roster? Based on, we all know it's going to be Freddie, Scotty, OG, Pascal, Boucher. You know, you got Precious. Now you got Colico to develop. Like, where will he fit in, and how effective can he be for the Toronto Raptors to take it to that next level?
Papa?
Well, I think like what Simon had said is that I think he's definitely going to be more so of a depth guy. So he's definitely going to be coming off the bench after that role. And then again, if we have any injuries, because we saw how many minutes a lot of these guys were playing last season, hopefully that kind of diminishes going into this next season where we don't have to play our starters as much as we did. But if they are able to stay healthy, but there's always going to be injuries. Someone's definitely going to get injured. So when that does happen, it's going to be Otto Porter to kind of fill in that role and be able to support this team through those times as well too, along with all the other guys. But like you mentioned, there are a lot of guys that we do have to play that kind of have that same similar role, especially since these guys are doing this whole 6'9".
I forgot Gary Trent Jr.
Yeah, so these guys are doing this 6'9" defensive thing. So I think it's going to be up to Nick Nurse and the coaching staff to kind of like figure out where we're going to be able to play some of these guys and like what minutes they're going to be able to get from them. I do expect Otto Porter to be definitely a bigger part of that, but to determine exactly how, I think it's just going to come down to who's playing really well together and who has that chemistry and who's got it going as well too. One thing I really do like about this Otto Porter signing as well too is that he just came off a championship team. So he's been around that championship caliber. He understands what it takes to win. He understands what it takes to sacrifice and, you know, do whatever it takes for the greater of the team. So I think that's going to be a huge role in playing on this team and building camaraderie with these guys. So that's going to be a huge plus as well too. Yeah, and leadership as well. So that's going to be a huge plus going for these guys, and we'll see how it really shakes down. But I do expect Otto Porter to be a pretty big part of this, and a lot of those other guys will probably fill out the roles as well too. So
I think he's going to be great. Skip, what do you think about Otto Porter?
So I think basically the
respect on his name.
The top 6 that the Raptors have had last year is probably pretty set in stone, assuming that they don't make any major trades. You're looking at VanVleet, Trent, OG, Pascal, Scotty, and Precious as being kind of your 6 quote-unquote starters. Obviously, only 5 of them could start at any given time. And then I put Porter right in that mix with Thad and Boucher as your 7, 8, 9. And it really depends on who's playing better, who's fitting better, what exactly you're looking for. Obviously, Boucher gives you better rebounding. Porter gives you better shooting. Thad Young gives you better playmaking. So what you're specifically looking for in any given lineup, which one gets more minutes out of those 3, and obviously who plays better, who stays healthy is going to be a huge factor. Like I said, Otto Porter, before last year he was healthy for most of the season, although he missed some time in the playoffs. Before last year, he only played 42 games in the 2 previous years. So this is not a guy.
At one point, he got fat.
This is not a guy who's you can count on to be in the lineup every single day. But like having him on the roster is great because if other guys get hurt and he's healthy, he can step in. If he is healthy, then he can fill that role. So I think he's right in that 7, 8, 9 mix. Obviously, behind those guys, then you get into if Koloko is coming in as your 10th guy, if Birch is your 10th guy, if
Koloko's coming in at 8. I don't care what you say.
No, I mean he's not above any of these guys. So if Koloko plays well, his best case scenario is he's playing a few minutes as a 10th guy. If he's not playing well, you give that role to Birch. If Birch isn't playing well, maybe you try one of the point guards in that spot, Banton or Flynn. But that's what I'm saying. They have so much more depth now. You look around and it's like these guys don't even have to play. These guys can get their chance to shine when guys are out, when guys are tired, when they're resting, yada yada yada. But your top 8 or 9 are that's a playoff rotation to me, right from day one. So yeah, I feel really good about where the Raptors roster is right now, and I think they have a chance to really improve on what they were last year, assuming things go mostly according to plan.
Guys, I got a billion freaking questions for you guys, but let me start off with let's keep this short because I got a lot from you guys. Now that the Eastern Conference has kind of been like weirded out with Mr. Flat Earth like opting in so he can get traded, Mr. Jump Ship, my next run, right?
Yeah.
Looking over there, right? That does kind of change the landscape, and not to mention Bobby Porter's coming back to Milwaukee. Not to mention what Philly has done.
Can I just say, for anyone who thinks Boucher's overpaid, look at what Bobby Porter's got. Like almost the same contract, an extra year. But go on.
Exactly. So now the landscape of the Eastern Conference has kind of changed, especially with the whole KD and Kyrie situation, the debacle. Ben Simmons is standing there like Will Smith looking, going, nobody wants to be with me. Well, dude, you ain't played. So shut up.
Yeah, if he ever plays again.
Yeah, play a damn game, okay? But that does change the landscape of the Eastern Conference. And with the Raptors now, the way they stand with picking up Otto Porter and re-signing and keeping the young core, you know they're gearing forward for the future. You know Masai has a vision. You know Bobby has a vision. Do you think they can actually be one of the top contenders in the Eastern Conference this year? Even though, yes, I did call what seed they would be at the beginning of the season. Skip, you can attest for that.
Mm-hmm.
But do you guys think, and you guys could go look it up. I don't care what you say. But do you guys think they can actually be one of the top contenders, you know, behind Milwaukee, behind Philly, behind Boston in the Eastern Conference this coming season?
Skip, I'm gonna pass this one to you first.
You want to pass it to me?
I'm gonna pass it to you first.
I think I said this ad nauseum, but it depends on Scotty Barnes. Scotty Barnes is the key. We know what everyone else in this team is for the most part. If things go according to plan and people stay healthy, Scotty Barnes is the kind of the guy who could turn this team from a really good team into a championship team, really good team into a contender. So I think they're absolutely in great shape to repeat the season they had a year ago, maybe add 2 or 3, 4 wins just on the edges with not having to run guys into the ground as much. But that next step, that leap to where you're surpassing Milwaukee, you're surpassing Philly, you're surpassing Boston. That's going to come from Scotty Barnes, and to a lesser extent, maybe a Precious Achiuwa, or if some of the other younger guys develop a little bit. But those are the two guys that I would really look at, because those are the two guys who have the most room to improve right now. And and I don't see a lot of holes on this team. I think they absolutely know how they want to play now. I think they play that style in a very aggressive way, and they can continue to do that. And one of the best things about bringing Otto Porter in is that he fits that mold. And one of the best things about bringing Chris Boucher back is that he is such an important part of what the Raptors actually do in terms of their style right now, in terms of playing the possession game, in terms of blocks, in terms of rebounding, just in terms of crashing the glass. Like, you lose Boucher, you lose a lot of that identity. Whether or not he's a quote-unquote elite player across the board, he's really good at what he does. So in that sense, it's really important to bring those guys back. And Otto Porter, like, he's a pretty good rebounder for a guy who plays the minutes that he does at the size that he does. So suddenly you're looking around and you're like, all right, we can continue to double down on everything we did last year, and these guys can get even better. And maybe Van Vliet can actually be healthy for the full season. I mean, knock on wood.
Not be selfish.
Well, and then there's the whole role question, right? Where maybe you can transition into this team where it really is Pascal and Scotty holding the ball most of the time. And as those guys grow into those roles, the sky's the limit. So I think there is a chance they could be right up there with the Contenders, but we're really going to have to see some development before I can say that's going to be where they're at.
Papa?
I'm just gonna say, I need one clarification though. Are we talking regular season standings, or are we talking about them taking the next level in the playoffs?
Taking it to the next level, bro. Because this team is growing. They're only going to get better.
Can they win the first round series next year?
What do you see?
Yeah, in terms,
what do you see? Do you want to see Joel Embiid cry again?
I would love that. I would love nothing more than to have that happen. Given everything that's happened now, I obviously still depends on where KD lands. If he stays in the Eastern Conference, if he goes to Miami or something like that, then my theory would probably change. But let's just keep it a given that they're all staying as it is, everything is now. I would say, I think they can win a series, but I do still think they are a year away from being that next level team. I think they could get by a team. I think they could get by a team depending on the matchup. But I don't think that they'll take it to that next level to be a contender in this Eastern Conference as we see it now. Just because I still think these guys need to develop a little bit more, get a little bit more chemistry going. Because like you said, last season, we did have some of those injuries and some guys didn't get to play as much with each other. And I think that development is still going to need to be taking place going into the season. But we did see something from this team last season that did really help them, is that they are able to move quickly. Like, we did not expect this team to be a fifth place team last season. So they can accelerate certain things. And I think that's where their acceleration going into next season is probably going to be able to, depending on the matchup, get them that first playoff win. And then, if they stay healthy, that's going to definitely help as well too. But in terms of being a contender, I think that's going to follow up in the following season after. I think once these guys get another year under their belt and develop more, that's where they're really going to improve and then be able to take that next step and be a real playoff contender.
Yeah,
yes,
it's hard
fans,
to win in the playoffs.
You guys have just heard it right there from Papa Minnow. He's preaching what I've been saying. It's going to take a while. Don't be Drakes and don't be the microwave generation where you expect everything right away. It's going to take a while, but the team is doing great. Now, on that, guys, oh man, I got so many questions for you guys, but we're running out of time. So let's just go off with this one quick. Just a question. Do you think Masai re-sign these guys and sign Otto Porter, and with that deep bench, you think he's going to make a move coming up soon?
You think he's done, you mean? Like, do you think he's done making moves? Are you talking about a big move or a small move? That's the thing.
Whatever. Whatever move. He just re-signed Boucher, re-signed Bam, got Otto Porter.
The
right?
short answer, I'm going to give you the short answer is I think the Raptors
Give
are
me the
done.
short answer because you take too damn long sometimes.
I think the Raptors are done. They have 15 roster spots accounted for, assuming they bring back Banton, Flynn, and Champagny, and obviously Svi Mykhailiuk's still on the roster, which is kind of a problem. So even if you're looking at signing someone for the middle to like a veteran minimum type of deal, you might look to do that, but then you have to cut somebody else. So it's got to be a pretty good fit. And then if you're talking about the KD situation, I mean, we could do a whole show on that. We might do a whole show on that.
Which we will.
I don't think I'd be surprised. Let's put it that way. We'll leave the details for later, but I'd be surprised if the Raptors make that move.
Okay, Papa, you think Masai and Bobby are done?
I agree with Skip. I think
it looked to me. I don't know. I might be a conspiracy theorist. Don't drink the Kool-Aid, right? But it does seem like they might be stacking to get something because they always got something up their sleeve. Those guys never cease to amaze us. So, do you think?
I think they're done as well too. I do think that they're probably going to roll with this. I don't think they're going to do anything major. However, I do think if the opportunity presents itself, we've seen Masai pull the trigger before. So I do think if they do get something that they do really like, I think they'll pull the trigger on that. I don't know if it's going to happen this off season. We'll still have to wait and see. But there's still an entire season that can be played as well too. So throughout the season, that possibility is still out there. Depending on if KD ends up doing this in the off season as well too. So we'll see what happens there. But I think they're done for now. They'll stay down pat and then roll with what they got going into the season.
Yeah, KD's going to change the landscape of the Eastern Conference, and he's pretty much going to change the landscape of the whole NBA, depending on where he goes. But guys, we only got a couple minutes here, so just one last question, just real quick, since we're running out of time. Are you guys, if you were Masai Ujiri, would you be comfortable and happy with what you have right now on the current Toronto Raptors roster?
I'll say yes. I'm happy with what I got on my team. Personally, I still think they need that center position, but other than that, I think they're good with what they got.
Skip?
I'd be super happy with what they have. I honestly don't even think there's much of a need for a center right now because between the style they're going to play with OG and Pascal and Scotty playing some big minutes, with Precious playing center spot, with trying to develop Koloko at the center spot. I mean, it's really tough to find minutes for a guy. I mean, maybe at the deadline, if you're really looking to pick up a center, you do it. But I'm not totally convinced. I think this team's really exciting as it is currently constructed.
Yes.
It's just, I mean, Joel Embiid might be a tough matchup, but Joel Embiid's a tough matchup for 29 other teams. So
F Brooklyn and F Joel Embiid.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm excited to see what the Raptors have to do this year. I'm pretty happy. And Skip, you and I did say this on previous episodes that the Raptors should stand pat and keep what they got and build on it instead of doing what other teams are doing and try to just blow shit up. It's absolutely stupid. I really enjoy where the Raptors are going. But guys, since the time is like really ticking down, tempus fugit. I don't know if y'all speak Latin, but shout out to my man James Welch. We love you, man. Okay, dude, stay watching us. We love you. You know, Papa, I can't wait to jump back on Pop's Culture. You guys know what to do. Go check them out on Pop's Culture. It's on Facebook. It's on Instagram. It's on Spotify. You've heard me on there before. And I will be back on, right? If you guys want some real shit. Sorry, Papa. I don't want to blow up your spot, right? My man over there, Simon, what are we doing? This?
Yeah, so my book has a new cover. So if you go down to Amazon and you check it out, you can buy the new cover. Same price, same everything, just a slightly better cover.
Oh, so I got a limited edition.
You got an old version, but yeah, go down there, check out my book, guys. Yep.
You guys can find Simon at Dougie J's on Twitter. You guys can find Papa Minnow on all freaking platforms. Okay, especially on Pop's Culture. Get it, Skip on Dougie J's because it's baseball season and like he's losing his mind. Sometimes he's missing my calls.
Mm-hmm.
I'm calling him in the middle of the night to talk about stuff. He's like, "Well, I'm watching the Jays game." Okay, fine. Oh wait,
Did they win
hold on.
today?
They were up 9-2 in the ninth inning when we started filming, so I think they're fine.
Yeah. As of this recording, it is 7 p.m. Eastern on a Friday. And by the way, can I say
Happy Canada Day
to everybody? Yeah. Happy Canada Day. I hope you guys are enjoying your barbecue, your family, your cottage trip, wherever you are. I'm pretty sure none of y'all are going to watch this tonight. Y'all probably watch it when you come back on Monday from your trip. But that's okay. We're here for you guys, and we'll always be ready for you guys. So on behalf of myself, Papa, the one and only Simon Broder, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good night, and
Peace.